Oregon. It's a beautiful day in the Ozarks, 80 degrees outside, probably 90 in my loft, but it's no big deal, it's all good. We're here at like 10 a.m. and you know I only wake up early. That's early for me, for certain people. Let's give a big warm welcome to the one, the only Emily Terry!
Sound effects.
Emily, how you feeling this morning?
I'm looking at you so proudly because, I mean, you said you graduated in 2021.
Yes.
So you were just 2 years younger, or did you graduate a year early?
Oh, be so for real. I'm bad.
All right, my bad.
I probably graduated when I was supposed to graduate.
Okay, so you were a freshman my junior year?
Yeah. So just for context for the listeners, so Emily and I went to college together. This is going to be a fun episode. I'm excited for this roller coaster ride. No, I love a girly pop moment. I really do. We've had so many guys on the podcast and they're great, but I can't like laugh it up the same, I feel like.
I get it.
Emily and I went to Evangel together. Go Valor! I'm just kidding. I'm a crusader for life. But, well, you know, I'm sorry. I get it. The cheers are ingrained in my brain and I have not hit a cheer that's like good enough. Anyways, tangent. So Emily went to college and I together, but I was really cringy pretty much most of my senior year of high school and then a lot of my freshman year of college. Like the only clothes I brought to college were Packer apparel. I rapped all the time and I wouldn't leave anyone's dorm room. I was like a fly on everybody's wall.
It was awesome.
So I think Emily can attest to that.
Oh yeah, well I'm just like looking at you in your cool loft in Springfield where like people watching all the people, catching up on all this stuff.
Right.
And I'm just thinking about like little you and your mom and dad. I still remember your mom and dad moving you in your first day, your freshman year.
Wow.
I know like you go on the third floor, you turn right, yours is at the end of that hallway, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And your cute parents, your dad was like very proud of me for having that like hammer thing that you put the beds on, you know?
Yeah, my dad really enjoys
and you
that stuff.
Were just like, I was like, wow, this girl is ready.
Crazy.
It was cute though. So it's fun to be here right now and you're like not in your freshman year.
I'm still the same way with the hammer. It's a fun blast from the past because it really was like, you know, Emily was an RA and I was just like corny, and my room freshman year was like, I think, you know, Gabby and I were roommates back then, and I think we can both agree that like our room was like never clean and organized the entire year. So, you know, it was freshman year. That's what you do. You don't know.
It's true.
You don't know what you're doing in life.
That's why you have room checks. Super normal.
Right. I got fined for so much stuff in college. Like I'll tell normal people who went to MSU, and I'm like, I got fined for my microwave being dirty and because I tied my shirt.
And they're like, what?
They're like, what?
Here?
I'm like, yeah, but don't get me wrong. You know, now I just do that like more as an adult.
Now I just don't get fined for it.
Yeah, now I don't get fined, but you know, I do feel convicted once in a while when the popcorn in my. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I'm really grateful that Emily's here because she actually, you know, is kind of wacky a little bit. Like, you know, I'm not going to tell you yet what we're going to talk about in this episode, but I was like, yo, we got to get you on the pod. You're in Springfield soon. Like, she's in KC. And so she really made a trip, not for me, but I'm a little bit of a conceited person where I'm like, I'm going to pretend like it's for me in the podcast.
Absolutely. It worked out well. I don't come to Springfield that often, but you texted me literally this week, and I was like, well, hey.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
It's true.
Yeah, so Emily, okay, talk about your current roles and what you're doing right now.
Okay.
And where you're at, like where you're, like, you know, where you're from and like where you live right now.
Yeah. So I was born in, I'm just kidding. I'm not going back that far.
So 11:59.
It was actually 7-Eleven.
Wow.
In Oklahoma City. So.
Well, I'm surprised you're not sponsored by the gas station. Like.
Think about it. Anyway, I live in Kansas City. I have a house.
Ooh,
it's fun.
Homeowner sleigh.
Oh yeah, it's not a sleigh. It's a lot of work. Anyway, so I live in. Do you know where like Westport is in Kansas City?
Yeah, for sure.
I live like east of there a little bit in a neighborhood called Manheim Park, and I taught for 4 years and left teaching this year actually, and I have like a really boring. What if they listen to this? It's not boring.
They might.
It's fun. They definitely will listen to this. They're like obsessed with this story. Anyway,
and you probably.
Hey, Jean.
What's up, girl?
So anyway, it's a very chill, like, office job. I just, like, type at a computer all day long.
Yeah.
But I love it. Honestly, it's so different from teaching. And it's nice. I don't think I'll love it, like, for the rest of my life, but it's a good, like, right now thing. Anyway, live up in Kansas City. And
So where are you originally from?
Kansas City.
Oh, you are originally from Kansas City? Okay.
Went back,
Nice.
like, out, like, the suburbs. Like, growing up, I wouldn't have said I lived in Kansas City, you know? Anyway, grew up in Kansas City, came to Evangel, I don't ever know if it's Valor or Valor.
It's Valor.
Oh, Valor.
Yeah. It's controversial, which it's not controversial, but like my high school was Thunder, but our theme mascot was a lightning bolt, you know, so you're like, make it make sense. So it's kind of like Valor is something that is an attribute, but then it's
right, like it's not
a horse.
Mascot. Anyway, we don't want to get like sued by Evangel.
Right, we are alumni, and we're still here, and I still wear the merch. So.
Oh yeah,
so
I don't.
Love. I don't. I actually don't either.
I hope you do.
I do go to the homecoming games from time to time, but I probably won't go this year just because, you know, I don't know. I could be busy. I'm not sure. I love Evangel. I'm sorry. If the records are recording, I love Evangel. Go ahead.
Me too. I am, in the long run, I'm grateful for what happened and my time there. And I also am not in like that same headspace anymore. I'm sure you can relate. Like when I went to college, I was like, I am a completely different person than I was from high school. If you knew me in high school, you don't know me now.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
That's my quote later. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll save that for later.
But now, like, I feel the same way about college now. I'm like, you thought you know me? Wrong. Which is kind of true. Anyway. But
I feel like I'm like literally the same. I mean, I've like changed different, you know, like you get different haircuts.
Like, you're the same person. Like, you ultimately are still that spunky little freshman girl. But whether you like it or not.
No, but I definitely, like, my hair has changed a lot in college. And also, you know, I think beliefs and, like, why you believe what you believe and, like, being strong in that has definitely grown. Which I am thankful for the space and the opportunity that, like, Evangel gave me for that. Yeah.
Same. Yeah, me too. And I, like, still have really great friends from Evangel that, like, I wouldn't have if I didn't come to school here. Like, this couch, I wouldn't be on this couch if it wasn't for EU.
Yeah, what do we do?
Anyway, yeah, just hang out in Kansas City, love it there, have a boring job. I think that's about all I got. Have great friends. I love my friend group right now. I honestly, like, just had a really bad year, and the past couple months have been like the like rebirth of like, oh wait, I'm like coming back to life. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So it's really, this season is really fun. It feels way different. Like my life 6 months ago is so different than it is now. Yeah. In all the right ways. So.
Right. Yeah. That's cool. And I know it can be kind of like rejuvenating, being like, okay, well, I want to discover like new things I like and new places new things I've never tried.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like, it's cool. It's like dating yourself, kind of.
Yeah, I'm totally in that season.
Yes, I love it. Season it. Like, yes. So before I ask the big question, I do want to ask, in teaching, you know, how is it like a lot of lesson planning and things like that, and now you're at the payroll job, so what was like the biggest thing you're like, now I can not have to focus on that?
Right. Well, I was really like, my school was like a immersive experience, I would even call it. Like, I got to be really involved with the kids' families, which, like, they're absolutely going to listen to this podcast. The kids are, so like, what's up? I already know. Anyway,
be sure to like and subscribe. 5 stars.
Oh, they will. They will hype you up.
Please give me reviews.
You're about to have like 20 new followers, and they're committed. They will comment on everything. I'm gonna get them to do that.
Thank you so much for your work.
Middle school kids.
Hi guys, I'm so excited for more friends. Love it.
Anyway, I loved that part of my job. Like, I grieve that like that. And it's not over. I still get to be connected with a lot of the kids, but it was a lot. Like, it was just, I mean, my whole life was teaching. And I feel like if you have the right boundaries, it's not going to be the case. I feel like right now teaching is kind of in this like cancel culture kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Of like, people are like, you have to get out. And I don't think that's true necessarily. Like, one of my best friends, Jo, is a teacher, and like, she's doing awesome. And so I think like, if you can make sure you set yourself up with like the right boundaries from the beginning, you're going to be good. But I wasn't in that spot. And it was like one of those where I was like, I don't think that this is going to work. Anyway, being like the lesson plan, that's the biggest thing. You know, it's so time consuming, and now I'm just like, wow, I just left my job and I won't think about it until I sit back down here tomorrow morning. That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know? I just think there's like fun seasons where your career is the biggest deal to you, and it's also really fun to like have a season where it's like, oh, yeah, that's my job that pays the bills, but
yeah,
this is what else I get to do.
And I definitely think, one, that's awesome. That's very cool, and I'm
Thank
very
you.
excited to see like the next steps for you.
Right.
But I think it's also too, I was talking about, which this next solo pod, I have to tune in, but I was talking about it with this guy on the plane, and I think Gen Z thinks this way. You know, we're like, okay, we focus on my mental health and like what's okay for right now and whatever, versus like older generations are like, well, you need to grow in your career so you can get that retirement, and that's great too. But sometimes,
right, like I have no retirement right now.
That's okay.
I mean, it's probably
you'll
gonna
worry
be a
about it
problem. They're kind of right.
That's a retirement problems.
Yeah, that's right. Not right now.
Yeah, but you know, it's okay. Like, it's a journey. It's not a race.
Yeah,
and just figuring
that's
out.
Good. That's good.
We can use that quote later if you want. So, okay, to really talk about what we want to talk about is Emily had kind of a crazy couple weekends, and I'm just following her on social media, and I am like eating it up. Like, there's like two things that are my reality show, and it's that.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I'm also part of a Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy in Springfield?
I am so happy you brought this up. I wanted to bring this up at some point about Kansas City.
Are you in that one?
Yeah, but we're like not allowed to talk. Like, we can't say we're in this group.
Okay, well,
we're gonna get kicked out.
I don't even care, because like, you're not supposed to talk about it,
right?
Or whatever. I'm like, what is this, the Illuminati? But I'm in this group, and it is just like, I'm really in it because I want to see what guys they post in there. Like, I'm not dating anybody, but it's so that's my reality.
It's just like I will never leave this group.
It is so entertaining, and people are like, they'll be like, hey guys, I'm starting to date this one guy for X amount of days. Does anybody know him? And girls will comment like, oh my gosh, we were in the same 4th grade and he didn't share his crayons. Girl, leave
now. Okay, I really might get myself kicked out for this, but it's kind of worth it.
Okay,
but the other day, this girl posted this picture of like a man in his like cell, like like jail cell.
Yeah, no, I got it. Yeah.
Everyone's like, does anybody know this guy? And the comments are like, I will never leave this group ever again. And like, I mean, you gotta know what you gotta know. Like, find the dirt on the guy. And but I was just like, this is incredible.
It's like way better than The Bachelor or like anything
I don't watch The Bachelor anymore. Ever since I got on this group, not worth it.
And some of the men are like so crusty. I'm like, ladies, just leave, period.
You like click on their profile and you're like, what? This is who you're going for?
Yeah.
Like,
we might be okay, because I know the rules are like you're not allowed to tell the guys, which I'm like never do, but I don't know if you can talk about it. So I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll never know.
Kansas City, please let me stay.
Yeah, let us stay. So anyways, that's my reality show, but then I'm watching Emily's social media, and I'm like, I'm living through you. Like, this is my other reality show. So, Emily, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay. So, I am like I'm not like a diehard Swiftie, but I do really love Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And like, I have a lot of respect for her. Like, look at her career. You know, she's going to be like the next like Michael Jackson of our time. You can't not be like, I appreciate your hustle. Anyway, I will also admit that I thought I was like too cool to like die for tickets whenever that like Ticketmaster thing. Do you remember? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I mean, those tickets were dumb, like expensive.
Well, even before that, like when she first released them, people were like spending hours on this website and then it wasn't working. And I was like, I don't need to like worship an artist like that. That was stupid of me. Okay. The moral of the story is,
people were there for like 8 hours though. I'm like, what?
But they got those 8 hours back in the concert. Anyway, I got it back too in the long run. That's it, you know. Anyway, so it was like the couple weeks building up to the concert in Kansas City, everyone was talking about it. I mean, everyone is in like all my other white girlfriends.
The whole squad.
Everybody in Kansas City. There's like 8 people. Anyway, and I was like, the FOMO was getting real. Like, I was like, I have to go to this concert or I know I will be a wreck the night of. And you know, self-care is all about like, what can you do ahead of time to like be ready for when it's going to hurt. And that's what I was ultimately doing here. Anyway, so at first I had heard about the like local casino in Kansas City was giving away 2 tickets if you like went to the casino. I've never been to this casino. Yeah. It's like a Saturday from 1 to 3, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna go by myself to this casino on a Saturday in my adult life anyway, and try and get these tickets. So I like go and you put your ticket in this big like, what are those things that like turn?
Yeah, I don't like the bingo things.
Yeah,
but I don't know what they are. Yeah,
whatever those bingo things are called. And so like I'm watching the like demographic of people putting their ticket in this thing, and I was just like, I swear if one of these people like, it's like a trucker 90-year-old man who's like chain smoking, and he's like, wow, I need this Swifty ticket. Who is this girl? And I'm just like, I'm gonna kill you all. Anyway, so you have to like sit at the casino for 2 hours and wait until 3 o'clock when they do it. Long story short, I didn't get those tickets, but I did win $60.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. One more time. Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
Okay, so then this is the week before Taylor Swift, and I was just, when I didn't get it, I was like, I will do anything. Like, I will do anything except pay money, you know, because like I don't have money.
Except do it the like logical, normal way, right?
Like, I can't do that, so anything else.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like your Instagram, like the third tab when it's like you click on it, it's like 80-year-old men that are like, hey honey, I look at your profile, I know you have this, Morgan. Like, don't look at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. Like the spam people.
Sugar daddies?
Yeah, I was about to be like, hey. I was wondering if
she's like, I know you have 4 90-year-olds up in the DMs.
You're looking at me like, oh wow, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm just like, come on.
No, you're right. I did have a phase.
Thank you. We all go through it. Anyway, I didn't reach out to any of those men for the record. But so I saw on this, you know, I'm really into Facebook groups in general right now. Yeah. It's where the tea is. Like, you join the right Facebook group, you're good. Like, you have your reality TV
Are you
fix.
like active on Facebook besides the groups? Or
No.
Okay, because I'm the same way. Like, I literally posted like it's like a resume. Hi guys, this mountain was so sweet. Love you, family. You know, and then my Instagram is like model faux slay. You know, like
it's like, are we dating the same guy, Kansas City? Like, that's not the typical group I'm gonna be in, but I'm gonna be in it because I need like something toxic in my life.
A controlled, healthy,
that's good.
Toxic. Like, it's not your drama.
It's truly not self-care.
To me, it's like protection. Yes, I need to know what is going on. Who do I need to avoid?
That's good. Especially here. I'm glad that you're in that group. I'm going to join it.
Yeah,
if they let me.
Because I truly have only recognized one guy.
What?
Yeah. So there's so many, and maybe it's like I'm just in the different age demographic, but there's really one guy that I was like, shoot, no, that guy did not know he was up to no good.
Those Evangel kids have another life.
Football team. I'm just kidding.
Here we go.
Continue.
Okay, so I was in this Facebook group. It was like all about Kansas City Taylor Swift, okay? Mm-hmm. And people are posting all the time. And this one girl posted about, have you seen how at the concerts they have those light up bracelets? Mm-hmm. It like puts on its own show practically because everyone has the bracelet light on. Anyway, this girl was talking about how she got that job at the concert to be able to get in. Because even it was like getting really hard to even Taylor Gate. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And they were like being really locked down. I saw like KY3 was even talking about it. I'm like,
you know, if KY3 is covering it, it is national news.
Yeah. So thank you, KY3. You guys saved Kansas City.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so the girl was talking about how she got that, and so I look at the comments, and she tells me about this app, and it's called Tend, T-E-N-D.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's a thing in Springfield, too.
Yeah.
It's worth trying.
I'm definitely going to download it.
Well, it's like, so on this app, she got the job to, like, do, it's called temp work, you know, when you get hired for just one thing.
Yeah.
And so I go on this app, and I'm like, okay, this is my in. And all.
So quick pause.
Yeah.
How does that even look like for, like, you know, do you have to submit, you know, information for like taxing, like, because you know how when you get a job it takes like 3 weeks to get stuff together, so how does it work?
The answer is no.
One thing about me is that I don't play games unless it's ping pong at Classics Yard. Classics Yard is Springfield's #1 social sport and game center. It is located in the back of Classic Rock Coffee Company headquarters and next door to the Riff. Coffee, sports, music, what more could you want? Located at 1900 West Sunset Street in Springfield, Missouri. Be sure to check them out, play some games, and reserve your event today. Visit www.classicsyard.com.
Okay, so this was on, the Taylor Swift concert was on Friday. I downloaded this app on Wednesday. I had to answer 5 questions. Like, one of them was like, can you smile at Arrowhead? Can you handle being around drunk people? Can you carry more than 10 pounds? And I was like, yes, maybe.
This is like the questions for Planet Fitness.
They probably should ask this question.
Literally.
Anyway, so you have to be accepted onto the app. So I get accepted on Wednesday at my job. Sorry if, again, Jean. Anyway,
so done.
So I get accepted, and I'm like, okay, great. The jobs available are prep cook. I have no idea what that means at this point, and dishwasher.
Okay.
I kind of can predict what that means, you know?
Right.
And so I'm like, I don't think dishwasher is going to be... I work, like, at a bakery part-time, and the dishwashing job there, oh my gosh, we are not talking about dishwashing jobs enough. It is so hard.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't pay me enough money to do this job. So I was like, I don't think that's the way to go. I would have done it. Like, if it was the only option,
right.
I would have done it. Anyway, so I try out prep cook, and then you have to, like, get accepted to be a prep cook. And, like, 30 minutes later, it was like, you've been accepted. And so then I was just like...
Can you imagine if college was this way?
Congrats. I mean, wasn't it kind of? Oh.
That's a different conversation. Anywho, sure.
We're going to have a follow-up podcast of, like, tell us everything we got off topic about, and we'll go in topic on this thing.
Yeah.
Getting back on track. So I get accepted, and I'm starting to be like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you just signed up to be a prep cook at Arrowhead Stadium. You don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. And I also, like, have a job. Like, this was Friday. Like, the job started Friday at noon. I worked my job Friday until 3. And this was Thursday night that I knew I had this job. So, no, Wednesday night. And so I, like, asked my boss. I was like, hey, can I please get off early? And this is why. And she was like, I'm not getting in the way of your dream. Go for it. I know. So shout out to Brooke. That was honestly, she was clutch for that. So get accepted. Do you want me to, like, keep diving in, or?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just talk.
No, we need to know. I mean, like, continue.
Okay.
I don't want to be spoiling.
So at this point, I'm, like, starting to loop in. I'm about to say, like, my Instagram, like, I have this following. I have, like, loyal friends, that even people I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah.
Then I'm starting to, like, post about it. And
i.e. me.
Yeah, I mean, you're one of them. Some of the Evangel people that I haven't talked to in, like, years, I like, have convinced myself everyone from Evangel, you know, this is bad, like, hates me. And so when I say something, I'm like, oh, you think I'm a cool human? I thought you hated me. You know.
Yeah, you should schedule that therapy appointment.
Thank you. Next up, I'll bring that up to therapy.
We all have something like that.
It's true.
For real.
Anyway, so those are, like, the nicest people. They're like, you have to tell me everything about this. So then, you know, my head is slowly getting a little bit bigger.
Right.
Like, okay, now this is going to be a funny story. And I know one thing that you and I can agree on, we love a good funny story.
I love a good funny story.
I didn't get to share about the Hertz Donuts thing.
But we'll come back to that.
Okay, good. Anyway, so I go to Arrowhead at noon. Well, I get there at, like, 11 o'clock because I want to be on time. And I know nothing about this job. I know that I have to wear black pants and black non-slip shoes, which I didn't have. That's it. So I get there at 11, and I'm at least hoping that, like, you know, Taylor Gate in the parking lot kind of deal. Everyone wanted to do that, but they were saying how hard it would be to get to do that. So I was like, okay, well, even if I get kicked out when my job is done, I'll at least be in the staff parking lot. Like, I'll still get to somewhere where it seems like no one else will get to go to.
Yeah.
And so I get there, and they're like, you need to go park 2 miles away at the drive-in lot, and we'll bus you over. So then I'm just like, great.
Right.
I'm screwed. Because I still, like, all up until probably 8 p.m. that day, I was like, I will not get to see the Taylor concert. Like, I would rather just tell myself it's not going to happen and be pleasantly surprised when it does. So,
okay.
Anyway, this is one more thing, like, being like, gosh darn it. So I get to the drive-in parking lot, and I want you to know that like I have 2 space buns in my hair. I have like a string of necklaces on. Like I look like a little child, you know, like a little girl. And all of these people waiting in line for this bus, this is like their normal job, you know, like they're not getting off of work to go do a fun little like game. This is their job. So no one looks like they could not care less that it was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I'm like laughing at myself. Like I'm just like, what are you doing? All these people. And I sit on the bus next to someone. And they're just like, so are you here for Taylor Swift? And I was like, how did you know? What gave it away?
She was like, I'm just in my lover era.
Yeah. Like, can we all just like be in a lover era? He's like, no. I don't know what's an era. Anyway, so I like get lost at Arrowhead. No one tells you what to do. Or, like, you have no direction. You go through security. You're in the tunnels to the basement, which was cool, by the way. That was a cool part of this.
Yeah.
And I just like I have a smile on my face the whole day because I'm laughing at myself, not of like joy. I'm like,
it's like an experience.
Yeah, I'm just like, what have you gotten yourself into? And so finally like find my prep cook job, and I hope that people, not to like plug my Instagram, but
plug it.
It is funnier if you look at like the video, the highlight of it, because you can see the funny, like me making,
the progression.
Yes. And I look stupid. Well, this is an inside scoop that like Instagram didn't get to know.
Oh my gosh, are you guys listening?
Mainly because it's embarrassing. So I'm like in this room, like a locker room, not like the Chiefs locker room, but like the employee locker room. Very different. And like I'm getting my apron and my chef's coat on. I put the apron on underneath the chef's coat, and then I put the chef's coat on top of the apron.
Okay.
And I'm videoing this, you know, like, because I need content for, you know, the people. And I look over at this man, and he's just looking at me, and I was like, I looked down at his outfit, and he has it on, you know, the right way that makes sense, the chef's coat and then the apron.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's the point of an apron underneath it? Anyway, so I had it on, and the guy's just looking at me, and I felt like the moment in The Office when I'm, like, looking over at a fake camera, like, okay. So I, like, quietly take him off and fix it the right way. Anyway, so I, like, have my chef's coat and my apron on. And I like go to my job, and I'm prep cooking, which is just like taking food out of a box, like a frozen food, and putting it on a plate. Not to like get against Arrowhead, but it's not
a pretty cool
super
job
fresh.
That's all it takes, ladies.
Yeah, it's all it takes. So I'm like doing this job, and there's no windows. It feels like, okay, I love the movie A Star Is Born.
Okay,
by Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Or not by Lady Gaga.
Right, with Lady Gaga.
Anyway, there's like the kitchen scene towards the beginning of the movie. It looks very similar to that, where there's no windows. For all you know, it could be 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. out at night. 10, never mind. And so I am like, oh my gosh, Emily, you're not going to see this concert. Like, you're in a hole, pretty much, of the basement.
You're in a dungeon where the bodies are buried.
Right, where the food is prepped. And anyway, so I'm like trying to feel out the vibe of everyone else. You know, nobody else is there to see Taylor Swift secretly but me. And so I'm like starting to, my goal was to work super hard. Like, I was like, I will work really hard to get these people to be like, oh wow, that girl might be here to just get into Taylor Swift, but like she's killing it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like prepping all the stuff. We get them the job, and I'm like, hey, what can I do next? You know, I'm ready to keep giving it. And so we like feel out the vibe, prep cooking for a little bit, and then they say like at 4:00 we're gonna go to the suites. And so then I'm just like, anticipation is building. I'm like, okay, that's a step closer to where I need to be. And we get to the suites, and I like, there's like glass windows, you know, and you can't hear the concert outside, but you can see it. So I'm like, okay, next step.
So people in the suites cannot hear the concert?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked, because this suite was like, if you bought a food package, you could like eat before the concert, but then you sat in a normal seat.
Okay.
So there's like multiple suites.
Like a food suite.
It wasn't like Patrick Mahomes' suite where it's like he has the food and watches the concert all in the same spot. It wasn't like that at this suite. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, okay, this is a step closer. Like, I can at least say I saw Taylor, you know? Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm starting to, like, crack some jokes, be my, like, normal self around the people, getting the feel out for everyone. And then probably at, like, 7 o'clock that night, this girl is like, do you know they're not going to, like, they're not going to walk you out? Because the wristband people that I told you about earlier, that job, like 50-50 people were being escorted out after they like clocked out, and then 50% like just snuck into the concert. So this girl is like, they're not going to check you out. Like you can, like you're gonna clock in or clock out of the kitchen, and then you just like go to the stadium. And I'm just like, it's building.
That's your guardian angel.
Oh yeah. Oh, Hannah. I hope Hannah listens to this podcast. The girl, I'm like, I love her. She brings me a wristband, like one of those light up bracelets at one point. She's like, I think you need this.
Where did she find that at?
I have no idea. But she's an angel. Truly, wow. Hannah is an angel. I miss her. I do.
Yeah.
Hannah and Ken, those were like my two little besties that I made. Anyway, so I'm like working this event. And I mean, I'm on my feet from 12 to 9 p.m. But it's not like I was just dilly-dallying around. Like,
right.
We were prepping some food, you know, and then serving the food. Because that was our job, was to 12 to 4, we like prepped the food. And then from 4 until we were done, we served the food to the people. So, keep going?
Yeah, keep going. This is getting good. You know?
Yeah, this is a good part.
No, stop right now. I'm just kidding.
And tune in next week if you want another rest.
She gets it.
I'm ready to pod.
Marketing minor.
Oh, I'm actually a biblical studies minor.
Wow,
thank you very much.
There you go, my baby.
It's the easiest minor you could get out of Angel. Because you like had to get a minor.
Yeah.
What's your minor?
Youth ministries. So,
okay, cool.
Shout out to Magoo. It was a great minor.
Heck yeah.
Back to the story.
Okay, good. That's good. But also shout out to like Steve Smallwood though. That was, oh my gosh. I miss him.
Smallwood is, I want to like come visit the farm with him and Pam because they're my favorite.
Let's go. Steve.
Let's do it.
If you're, Dr. Smallwood, if you're listening. Okay, back to the story though. We don't want to lose the people.
Right. You're on the edge of your seat. I can just feel it.
Okay, so it's like 8 o'clock. Taylor goes on. Well, let me back up a little bit. It's like 7-ish, and I ask if I can go to the bathroom, thinking there's like a staff bathroom, you know? And they're like, oh yeah, just go out down the stairs. And so I go out, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like in the stadium right now. Like I could go. Like I could just ditch my job and go. And, if I had my bag, it might have been a different story, but like my bag was in the office, and like these people were my friends at this point. Like we worked together. I wasn't going to leave them. And anyway, it doesn't matter. And so I like go out, I watch the opener for like 20 seconds, and then I go back to my job. And now like I'm pumped because I'm like, oh, this is absolutely possible. I'm going to get paid to watch Taylor Swift, which I'm sure some people like hate me for that. They're like, I paid $4,000.
I think it's ingenious.
You gotta respect it. Yeah. You really
have to respect the hustle. Yeah, seriously.
Like, me and Taylor, you respect her hustle, you gotta respect mine.
Yes.
Anyway. And so I go back, we're doing our shift. Taylor, I like watch her go out. The girl is glowing. Like, I'm like, did she put lights in her body? Like, her whole presence. It was incredible. Anyway, so we're like cleaning up and we finish, and it's probably 9, I think. And Taylor went on at like 8:15. And it's a long concert, 3.5 hours. Can you believe someone can do that for that long?
It's wild.
I know. Respect.
Again, respect
I go
the game,
back to
the hustle.
it. You have to respect it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have no idea where to go. Like, it's all tunnels in Arrowhead.
So at this point, did you finish working then, or?
Yes. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, thank you.
Because I didn't make that clear on my Instagram, and some people, haters. I'm just kidding.
Welcome to it. I'm just kidding.
We all got them.
The bigger you get, the worse, the meaner they are.
Morgan knows.
I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's how you know you made it. Like if you have a hater, you're like,
if people are like, seriously, that's like so bad for the economy. Like, how dare you?
And you're like, okay, I made it. Hater done. Okay.
Yeah.
So I finished my job and I walked back to the kitchen area to check out.
So mentally, were you like, okay, I am now going to sneak into the concert?
Yeah, I'm a little bit blacked out even,
Yeah,
like emotionally, not, literally.
Right. mean, it's okay if you were in that situation, but I mean,
we don't. This is an evangel
moving
podcast.
on. Let's just move on.
Okay, so I don't know where to go. So my two friends, Hannah and Ken, are like, we'll walk you to where you need to go, which like is so kind because we just worked from 12 to 9. They want to leave, you know, and they walk me around half of the stadium. And I knew, like, days before, one of my best friends, I was like, what are your seat numbers?
Yeah.
And I, like, had it in my notes app because I didn't even know if you would have signal at the concert.
So are they all seats? Is that, or like, okay.
Like, they're all in their seats because it's assigned seats at this concert.
Right,
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because when you get to your friends, like, how, we'll talk about that.
Well, I didn't even think, like, I was like, okay, I'm getting into the concert, but I didn't know how much they monitored your ticket.
Yeah.
You know, because at some events, they're like, can you show me your ticket before you get to walk down the stairs? No, not at this. And so I didn't tell my friends that I was coming to join them. Like, I just had no idea what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, honestly, also all I'm thinking about is, like, I get to tell my Instagram friends that I made it. Like,
it's about the followers.
It's about the people. Because everyone's like, one girl was like, I turned on my notifications for you so I didn't miss any story. And I was like, what? That's
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And, you know, I linked up the Insta to the Facebook. So I also had all the moms being like, please tell me everything. Like I said, my head...
I can't go to bed yet until I know you're there safe.
My head was like 80 sizes bigger because I was just like, this is incredible. Anyway,
Love it.
So I like get to my spot and I had a different change of shirt and I threw away my black non-slip shoes because I was like, I don't need these anymore.
Yeah.
Had on my sandals, get to my friends, and when I like walk up to them, everyone's just screaming. Like me and my friends, because we're like, oh my gosh, you did it. But I'm like, we have to be calm. Like, I didn't know if people around us were going to be like, someone come check that girl's ticket, you know? Anyway.
So was there space for you? Was there a seat? Like,
the nice thing was that everyone stood at the Taylor concert. Like, if it was a sitting concert, it wouldn't have worked.
Right.
And, like, at any point, I was like, if you guys want to sit down, like, just tell me. I'll go up and stand up at, like, the concessions area, which I would have been fine with, too. But they stood the whole time. So it was like a... triangle, you know, like I stood in the middle in front of them.
Gotcha.
It was like tight, but everyone's cheering, screaming, you know, the vibes.
Yeah, the vibes were there.
They were there. And I get to watch the Taylor concert for like 2.5 hours. And I don't know if you know, like if you follow a lot of the Taylor Swift concert, but I won't go into this for long. But on TikTok, which I like kind of have like an addiction to.
Right. Well, I mean, I suffer as well.
I'm glad to know I'm not alone. I like tried to change my like what's that time thing called where it like turns it off?
Oh yeah.
To an
Good
hour.
For you, yeah.
And I'm like, remind me in 15 minutes. Yeah. And then when I'm tired of clicking the 15, I'm like, never mind. Remind me tomorrow. Anyway, so on TikTok, like people are very passionate about talking about the concert, and it's always like a competition of like who got the best. I need to switch.
Oh, you're good.
Hand.
It's okay.
You told me the rules. Anyway, like everyone's talking about who had the best concert, and to flex, I am flexing when I say this.
Yeah, 2 flexes, people.
It was the best night of her whole. Is that okay?
It's okay. You're good.
It was the best night of her whole thing. Like she came out with a new album that day. She had a new song that she put into. We just found out last night at the Denver concert that she locked it in.
Wow.
Long Live is staying on things. Some people that are listening to this, Morgan, you don't get it, but they're laughing.
I know. No,
they're laughing
amazing.
at what I just said. Okay. So she does that. Okay, Taylor Lautner is there, which is everyone is screaming when he plops down in the music video that she premiered. He like plops down on the screen, and everyone is screaming, and then he comes out on stage. That was insane. And it's like Taylor's ex, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we all got to get to that spot with our exes where we're just like...
Yeah, not me, but love that for her.
Yeah, I mean, same. We'll probably not do that, but
no, I mean, like, you know, that's so cool. Like, you know.
Also, I feel like we need to talk about for a moment his wife. Like, what a, like, incredible woman that she watched her husband stand on stage with the Taylor Allison Swift and say these, like, incredible things.
Yeah.
Am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, let me see.
I can
make
see
sure.
your
I
eyes.
No. Okay, you're holding it nice and tight. I'm trying to figure out where it's like.
Sorry, Pod.
No, we're good because I'll edit this out. I just want to make sure everything is like tight. Maybe that's where the problem. Yeah, that's where I think it is. Oh, I can edit all of this out. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so then
Let's
make sure you have a strong grip. Feeling good? Boom, case.
Okay. So, talking about Taylor's wife, Taylor. They're all named Taylor. Anyway,
wow,
like her
weird.
Security. Hello, where do we get that? You know, like he's talking about his ex Taylor Swift on stage saying incredible things. Anyway, I'm going too much into the Taylor thing, but so it not only did I get into the Taylor Swift concert, it was like the night. Like Kansas City Night 1 will be known as like the night.
Yeah, and I think on TikTok too, Taylor was saying a lot of like, I have a heart for Kansas City. Yeah. You know, I'm a Southern girl. And so I think she saved a lot of that for...
That's interesting. So did you hear a video where she said that?
I did see something like that. I'm not a Swiftie. I like Taylor Swift a lot, but I probably would have put that money towards like Drake or something.
Okay, but I get that though.
But she's amazing. And like if I had like $100 ticket, I would have gone.
Totally. Yeah. I get that as well. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, I watched the concert. And it was the best night of my life. Like, everything else is a downhill from here. Yeah. Marriage one day, downhill.
No.
A baby, no. Taylor Swift, yeah. I mean, like, you don't even understand. It was.
I don't understand. But
what's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, I don't even know. I know I went to one that was. I'll have to think of
Lecrae at Evangel? Please tell me you weren't at Evangel when that happened.
I have seen Lecrae though.
But at Evangel?
No, I didn't see it at Evangel. I didn't see it at Evangel.
I'm sorry you missed that.
I have been to some pretty awesome concerts. I have to. You can't ask me that. I have to think about it.
How does it feel to be asked a question on your own podcast?
I love getting asked questions, but the whole
you have to know your favorite concert.
Well, I've seen Post Malone, but I feel
what? That's incredible.
Yeah, I cried. No, it was incredible. I'm just. I feel like there was somebody I saw though that I was like, man, and I'm not thinking of it.
Some people put on incredible concert. Like they might even be a mid person, but their concert. That's not Taylor though.
Yeah. Shoot, I can't think of it.
It's okay. Sorry to
Matt Rife was just in town.
You went?
No, I didn't get to go, but I know this is all going to go in the solo pod, but like I definitely was on some stalker girl stuff and I know exactly where he was staying and I had eyes and ears on all the situations, but I just missed him in the street by 20 minutes.
Matt needs to know you. Like you don't need to know Matt. Matt needs to know you.
That's true. Like I don't need...
He would love you. I know it. I'm just saying.
I don't think he would like my podcast, to be honest, and that's okay.
Okay, well, that's his problem. Like, what?
But I do think he's a cool guy. Like,
yeah. Anyway. Enough about Matt Rife. But Matt, if you are listening, Morgan's free in multiple ways.
What? Yeah, I'm free from sins.
Oh, okay, there we go.
No, but no, Matt has I can't even get into this.
Okay.
Matt's cool.
We digress.
We digress. Anyway, so you had this huge Taylor experience. Yeah. I mean, I think you could have gone to the concert and had a great time, but like the way that you did it, where it's you made money, you put in the work, you didn't know what was going to happen, like, and then the concert was just more than you could have ever imagined. Was unreal.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like, had I bought concert tickets, even if I found $5 tickets, like it would have been incredible, but the way that it happened is what made it like the best night of my life. Like I just kept looking around during the concert being like, this.
Yes, yeah.
Being like, I don't know what I did, but like, thank you, world. You know, like this, I was just like, this is incredible. And not to like give it an emotional twist, but I've had like a crappy year. You know, like I quit my job mid-year, which is a big deal when you're a teacher, and like was just in a rough place. In the winter especially, it was bad. And like to have a moment, I was like looking around like, wow, I'm in a way better spot. Like it was a cool like indicator of a new era, as they say.
So on brand.
But it really was how it felt. Like I was just like, wow, I am so happy to be here and to have gotten paid $150 actually to get paid to watch Taylor. So did you like just like one
check for that? Is that like how they just like hand it out? That's awesome.
Well, it just got reimbursed within 2 days, or not reimbursed, but paid. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tend. Never mind. It's called Tend. It's a great app that everyone should check out.
Is there anything that like you didn't bring, or like something you wish you would have known before you went to the concert?
No. Not to sound cocky, but
she's like, I had everything I needed.
I thought about, like, it consumed my entire life from Wednesday to Friday. You know, I like bought a bag on Facebook Marketplace, a clear bag. The girl, this is like at 9 p.m. at night Wednesday, and the girl's like, I can meet you tomorrow afternoon. I was like, actually, I would give anything if you let me come over tonight and pick it up. Like, I need the bag so I can know what to fit. But no, I brought a portable charger.
Wow.
I brought new shoes to wear. I brought a new tank. I knew what to wear underneath my outfit of like the chef's outfit to know what I was ready.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, I just needed to know. No, I have no regrets or wish I would brought anything else.
That's amazing. We gotta.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, queen. So are you gonna be doing this for other concerts as well?
Okay, so Beyonce is coming to Kansas City. Maybe. Rumor on the street is they think that she just like soft launched canceling it because she moved the date. And apparently she did that in like Philadelphia and then she canceled. I could be wrong about all of that, but I think that's true. Anyway, if the thing came up, I would do that. But like, I wonder if it will be up during the Chiefs games.
Oh,
I'm not like super passionate about like breaking into the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
But it would be a cool vibe.
It's not my life dream of like continually doing things.
But like if I could, I feel like this is, you will know this. You do this well. Networking, is the biggest thing.
Wow, I appreciate that.
I believe that about you. And so I think that if I like did it and you get to know more people, also that would be like, this is something I thought about on the drive here. Like I should bring that up. So this is me getting to that. Honestly, I think the best way to make friends post-grad, especially if you're kind of like scrapped for money, is to get a second job. Like that really, like a chill, like I work at a bakery, go McLean's.
Yeah, plug it.
But like that was one of the best ways for me to like meet other people outside of like my job world, and I just didn't know people outside of my job when I moved back.
So how did that work with teaching?
Yeah. So
she's like, it didn't.
It actually didn't. No, I burnout is a real thing.
It is,
and I wish I could say it's like, oh, it's just a concept. No, it's real. And I did do that by having this bakery job. But like my social life,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't there either because I was so like dead. But now it's there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just did it like either Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
At the bakery. And it was nice because the drop's done at like 2:30ish.
So it's like a 1 day a week kind of thing.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my plug for a second job. Like a fun, something, like it felt fun to me to get to work at a bakery. And I'm not to like also flex, but I'm like a barista there. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Slay.
Anyway. that was lame.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So is Beyonce the next artist you would really want to see? Or is there like...
Good follow-up.
If you had... Well, thank you. Is there like... What would be the artist that... Like your favorite artist, you'd be like, I have to either work or like just buy the tickets to like go see.
That's good. Post Malone was just in St. Louis last night, and I do feel jealous that I didn't do that.
Like Morgan Wallen, I feel like I would.
Oh, yeah.
Because those tickets are just crazy.
Oh, really? I didn't even know.
Those are pretty crazy. And probably not Taylor level, but.
He came to Springfield recently or somewhere around here? I just saw someone at that concert.
Yeah, he was in St. Louis.
I think the same night as Taylor, actually.
Yeah, they were back to back.
How dare he do that?
People were really spending like $1,000 like on the Taylor and the Morgan together.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
These people, they message the sugar daddies back on Instagram. That's the only way I'll believe that. Like, how do you have that much money?
I don't know.
Anyway, good for them.
Right.
Not me. But, yeah, Morgan Wallen would be really fun to see in concert. But Post Malone, I don't even know, like, who else, actually. I'm just so much on a Taylor Swift train right now that it's, like, all I know. Mm-hmm. But Harry Styles, actually, that would be I just like when you follow something on TikTok, I see the concert videos on TikTok all the time. I'm just like, oh, that looks so fun.
Yeah.
So I would probably say Harry.
Yeah. That would be cool.
So you would pick Morgan?
Maybe. I like weird bands too. Like I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and like Cage the Elephant. And so if I could, I'm probably like, man, I wish I could go to more of a festival vibe and probably see all of those.
Right.
But I can never find people to like.
Oh, I thought of mine. Yeah. They're called Boy Genius.
Okay, yeah.
So good.
I've definitely heard of it.
Phoebe Bridgers, love them.
Nice.
Anyway, but all of that to say, I will probably do Tend again, mainly because I want to hang out with the friends I made. Like, it was so fun, and just it was cool. It was like a completely different vibe of like people that I normally work around, and it was just so, it was so kind. Like they could have easily seen this like child me come in there and like be like so flashy of like, take a selfie with me, let's sing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and they're like, come on, content creator, we're trying to just vibe.
They're like, we're just having our job. They could have easily like put up the middle finger to me, honestly, and been like, just leave us alone. But they didn't. They were so kind the whole time. Even my manager was like, Emily, you're gonna get to see Taylor. And I'm just like, wow, that's so sweet of you. You didn't know me 3 hours ago. But,
and that's one thing the podcast, and like I feel like I always try to talk about, is like, you know, do different things. Like put yourself out there. Like it's okay to do things alone. Like if you would have been like, well, I don't want to, I'm scared to do it alone. Like no, you know, be independent. You never know what's gonna happen or who you'll meet.
It is true. And I really would push for anyone to do something independently. It's like the best thing I've ever done for myself is like learning to be okay. It's weird to go from like college, especially at Evangel, where, well, for me, you have to live in the dorms all 4 years. Like you're always around people. Like I even remember I had to like buy a special towel wrap when I got out of the shower at Evangel because like people were going to be in my room like at all times. Like I never was alone. And to like go from that to post grad, and it's like, I have to like make plans 2 weeks in advance to hang out with anyone. It's very different, and it was honestly it was a really hard season of my life, but the best now, because I'm just like, I would have never done something like that probably if I hadn't had a lot of practice of like being alone. But you just have no idea what could happen if you're comfortable with doing random things like that.
And we've talked about too on the podcast, like I had an episode where we talked about college stuff and just saying like, you know, have jobs that are off campus, like do things that are off, because when you graduate, then you already have a network of people that you can already start pulling from. But, you know, everyone's story is different. And so it's fascinating. So, you know, I know we're closing the episode here soon, but just a few last questions. Like one, I would say, you know, what are your advice to other teachers who may be experiencing, you know, burnout or, you know, finances or just kind of in a spot you're in? Because I know right now things can be really challenging with teachers, just whether it's, you know, the salary or the students or even, you know, being scared of safety. So what's your advice on that?
I would recommend that you like write down, like this feels basic, but write down a pros and cons list and really think about like, what would it feel like to not have those pros? Like, what would it feel like if that was gone? And also, what parts of my life do I feel like I'm missing out on? And like, well, this is what I would also recommend, and I'm talking to myself, like keep your teaching certificate up to date, you know? Like I still need to do that because I could go back and teach in 3 years. One thing I was telling someone is I was like, honestly, teaching and being like a single person and living in your own home is so hard because it's just not that much money, you know? But I would love, like, if hopefully the person I'm with one day is, you know, pulling out the dough.
I'm praying for that as well. I'm like, please have a family with a lake house. Please have a boat.
We just need the lake house. Please don't, like, want to run on Thanksgiving Day, but please let Thanksgiving Day be at a lake house.
Please don't be a cat person. Like, please be a golden retriever family.
But we'll take the cat if the money comes, so let's be real. So... Anyway, if I like ever was back at that spot in my life, I could totally see myself wanting to go back to teaching because I love kids. I love middle schoolers especially. They're just so clunky and awkward. I just love them. That's why I love little freshman Morgan. You know, just a little.
She was so weird,
but confident.
She was confident. Yeah,
you were easily the most confident person in the dorm. Honestly, like get rid of all the senior. Like no, Morgan, Cash Money Morgan.
I just look back and I like did not feel that way. I think I just was like,
I mean, fake it till you make it is real,
true.
You know?
Yeah.
And look at you now.
That's true.
You made it.
Yeah.
On this Loft podcast. Anyway. So back to the original question, what would I tell teachers? I would say to like really think about it, and I would say maybe just try it. Like I think that it feels very overwhelming to get outside of teaching because it's so much of your college. You know, if you went to school for that, like you feel like you can't do anything else. And that's really not true. Like there are a lot of careers out there that love hiring former teachers. And also, in my opinion, like a company would be kind of stupid to not hire a former teacher, like because they just have so many people skills and like social skills and organizational skills. But try it. And then if it doesn't work, go back. Like that's the other nice thing about teaching, or not teaching, I mean, is like I didn't have to sign a year-long contract at the job that I was just at. Like, I'm here vibing until I'm ready to not, you know?
Yeah.
And teaching's not that way. So you could, like, say you probably don't do this, but, like, say if you quit right now and you didn't teach this next school year, like, you could, if it didn't go well, you can sub, you know, and make pretty good money doing that, too. But I would say that if you're on the edge, maybe jump. Probably into like a
right, not off a cliff, but you know, into a different career maybe,
like that kind of podcast. But like jump onto like a soft couch and try something new.
Yeah, and I think that's something too that, you know, we're in our 20s and. I think a big thing in culture is like, well, it always was this way, and that's something that I really do think Gen Z is kind of shaken up a little bit. We're like, you know what? Maybe I can take a year and do this, or I'm gonna do. People switch careers all the time. I studied communication and I'd done so much stuff with marketing, so it's fascinating that like just because you did one thing does not mean you have to do that forever.
Right. And like my job, I'm like an accountant kind of. I didn't go to school to be an accountant, you know, but if you can sell yourself to someone, they'll take you, you know, because they'll be like, oh, you clearly have a drive to learn this new thing. Sure. Like you probably would be better off than the person who is an accountant but has no drive to actually do it.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you're able to learn, you know, and you're confident, all those things are amazing. Yeah, so as we are closing on your story, last few things, dating life in Kansas City. Oh my gosh, I can't even
I got you.
Kansas City.
Okay, this recent article just came out, and they like took all the cities with this relatively same population as Kansas City, and it was ranked the worst city to date in.
Was Springfield on there? Or?
Well, that's what I knew you were going to say that. And I'm predicting not to like diss Springfield, but that's like a different population bracket. But I'm very confident that Springfield would be on that list too. But Kansas City, it's weird because once you're in it long enough, it's like a bigger Springfield. Yeah. When it comes to like, you end up still knowing a lot of people. Yeah. And what I found out too is like, well, and it's not actually relevant. I was going to say something about, like, the different scene of people. Like, when you get in a niche of group, you know a lot of the same people. So I'm sure if you get out of that different, like, group. But no leads on the dating life.
No leads. Hey, and you know what? I mean, something which this is all, like, I'm going to really drop it like it's hot in the solo pod, so you really want to plug that too.
I cannot wait for this solo pod.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But, you know, I think right now, it just depends on what season God has you in, you know, and I really have a lot of peace and just, like, being like, all right, I know what I'm supposed to do. And
it is so fun being single. Like, there are times I miss it.
It's more fun when, like, your friends are single, too.
Yeah, I get that.
That's where it gets tricky, but also it's like, I'm not responsible in, like, whatever.
You can do whatever you want, whenever. Which, like, there's also sad moments, as we are both well aware.
Right. But there's beauty in it, that you're not tied down, really, to anything.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Emily, thank you so much for sharing your Taylor story.
This is so fun.
I'm so obsessed. Like, she's going to come visit, and we're going to actually chop it up, like, her and I.
Yeah. But we have some tea to talk about.
We love that. We love
I walk into the loft and Morgan and I are instantly like that's
what happens when you see people in like 4 years.
And we haven't,
like,
you know.
It's crazy.
Right.
But that is like there is a beauty in social media where it's like if phones did not exist and like
I know.
Instagram, like I would have probably like I don't know when I would have ever, you know, talked to you or seen your stories and whatnot. So as we end the show in every episode, which quick pause, again we're mentioning the solo pod, but my merch designs are finalized.
Oh,
Not the, you know, don't get too excited. You're not going to get them yet, but
I'm excited. Is Springy Jeans sponsoring it?
No, but hopefully
we
got some collabs and stuff, you know, hopefully in the future.
I want that white t-shirt you have so bad.
Which, the one that they own?
You know what I'm talking about.
The OG Springy. Yeah. I got you.
Sam, I'll take it.
She wants the throwback shirt.
Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. The studio's still, you know, underway. Hopefully make some strides here soon. But Emily, as we end every show, I ask every single guest, you know, one, thank you for sharing your heart and being vulnerable and sharing your story. You know, that's something that like me and the pod, we really respect people and appreciate, you know, pouring out your heart. But just, you know, your favorite song, a favorite quote, and what do you want your legacy to be?
wow.
I know.
You did not tell me about the legacy part.
I feel like I mentioned it somewhere.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be too deep. Doesn't gotta be too deep.
Okay, you said favorite song.
Favorite quote, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Legacy?
You know, when you die, people like, what do you want them to like remember you as or for?
Totally.
You know.
Okay, I'll answer that one first. I really want to like be known for someone who would just like try it. You know, like this. You text me, you're like, hey, you should come be on the pod. I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely. That's one more thing to like say that you've done before. You know, so I really want to like. I really would love. I have 5 nieces and nephews, and I would give anything for them to like be the type of person who would just be like, I'm just gonna try it. Why not? You know. And so I really hope that I can like leave that impact on. Really, my niece and nephews are the biggest part of my life.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I hope that they do that. In the theme of Taylor Swift, I am going to share my favorite Taylor Swift
Please do.
song.
I forgot to ask. Please do.
Okay.
How dare I?
I know. It's okay. I can't even remember. Okay. But there's
so
a
many
song
from
I'm
different
thinking
albums.
about, but it doesn't matter. I can't think of it. But there's a new song on her Vault. She just came out with a new album, one of her Vault songs, and I can't remember what it's called. It's about a girl named Emma, and it's kind of the vibe right now.
Yeah,
it's very good. Emma Falls in Love, maybe is what it's called.
Okay, go Emma.
Yeah.
Guard your heart, Emma.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that in a few years.
In your mind, Emma. Go ahead. And favorite quote.
Favorite quote. Okay, this is very cheesy, but it is what I think about all the time. The days are long, but the years are short.
That's good.
Let's let that sit for a second.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at Evangel right now.
That was good.
Let me say it one more time. Yeah. The days are long, the years are short.
Yeah.
I needed you to laugh at what I was just making fun of my own self when I just did that, and you're like, oh, okay.
No, I mean, the years have flown by. Like, it really is crazy.
Some days are like, this day will never end. But then you're like, oh, wow, I graduated from college 4 years ago.
That's insane. Now, Emily's going to absolutely kill me if I don't let her share this really, really fast tidbit of, again, I would
hope
say
people are still listening for this. Cause
good. We're wrapping up.
Okay, good.
Freshman year, I was kind of cringe, and I was from Green Bay, and I didn't know all these things.
I got this. Okay, so picture like freshman Morgan, who is the same like bubbly person as she was then, but she knew no one. Did you know anyone?
I did not know a single person in Springfield.
That's incredible. So she like walks in, and she probably already has like a little posse of people because. Well, also I remember, I don't know why, Morgan, but I remember like a lot about your freshman year.
You know, maybe if I imprinted on you. It was so quirky and weird. That's why
it was endearing. It was like, I loved it. Anyway, you like got your whole launch group to like play some game waiting outside of like a meeting that we had to have.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, Ninja.
Yeah.
It's like slowly all coming back to me.
Well, maybe you'll have to bring this up in your therapy later.
Period.
Anyway, so you like walk in, all the RAs were at the front desk, and you walk in and we're like, what are you girls gonna do tonight? And you just so confidently were like, we're going to WANA. And I was just like, cool. What's WANA? And you're like, like WANA hurts. And we're all just like, oh, that is very precious. Which this is a niche Springfield joke. But
so for context, there's a place called Hertz Donut in Springfield, but the one downtown is closed.
Oh my gosh, the one in Kansas City closed too.
There's 2 other locations in Springfield though. They're just more on the south side. But the lights of the sign of the building, only the lights for WANA and Hertz were on. So I'm out here thinking like, yeah, WANA Hertz, like
it's like we're going to WANA Hertz, which is also like such a like staple thing you have to do when you're a freshman. Like you have to be obsessed with going to Hertz Donuts.
Yeah.
So it made it like even that much cuter that you're like, we're going to WANA, and we're all just like collective like, oh. So that's my first ever Morgan story.
I will say it was so fun being a freshman and like being so tight with the RAs. And once
you had an anger.
Yeah, once your group kind of left, I mean, like the RAs were dope, but I felt like it was never as collective as it really was in like your guys' era. So that was fun. Like all the other RAs just kind of like stuck to their room, I felt. But that was a cool like I enjoyed that time for sure.
I miss it. There's a lot I don't miss, but I do. That was so fun. That group.
Yeah.
You're right. That was a really fun group.
I had a lot of good memories. I mean, there were some years that were rough, but like if I could go back to like freshman or maybe even sophomore year, I think I would.
I get that.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I loved it all. I really did, ultimately.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Well, thank you again, Emily, for coming on here.
This is so fun.
If you guys are looking to go to a Taylor Swift concert and don't know you're in, download 10.com. Make sure you make sure you follow Emily on the socials.
Oh,
Please
wow.
review the podcast or do what you guys got to do. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Okay, bye.
Bye.